Oh, hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Michael Boy. I'm here to read, remember, repeat, and we just want to let you guys know, we could be doing something selfish, things for ourselves, right? But we started a charity, and this is very unselfish on our part because what we want to do is give back to the kids, the youth, the orphanage, the homeless, the people that don't have those new ideas because they're stuck in a revolving door. So what we want you guys to do is definitely reach out to us. This is the link right here. Help us save a life. Click the link in bio. Read, remember, repeat. Phenomenal day, gang. I'm excited to be here. Just got some great news. I hope you are excited to be here. And we are definitely starting on a new book. I'm hyped. I'm very hyped for this one right here. This is called Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. We just got finished a crazy book. Shout outs to Anna Kevin Reyes, the conscious creator. And shout outs to Trinity. She was on our last interview, and she was the one who actually bought this book up. I had it in the stash, and I figured the time is now for you guys to actually tap into Outwitting the Devil, right? This is The Secrets to Freedom and Success. Written by Napoleon Hill, but it's forward by Mark Victor Hansen. So, we want to get this in, right? See, fear is the tool of a man-made devil. Self-confident faith in oneself is both the man-made weapon which defeats the devil and the man-made tool which builds a triumphant life. And it is more than that. It is a link to the irresistible forces of the universe which stand behind a man who does not believe in failure and defeat as being anything but temporary experiences. Napoleon Hill. Outwitting the Devil. I'm excited, family. This is a goodie. Let's go. My first meeting with Andrew Carnegie, Chapter 1. For more than a quarter of a century, my major purpose has been that of isolating and organizing into a philosophy of achievement the causes of both failure and success, with the object of being helpful to others who have neither the inclination nor the opportunity to engage in this form of research. My labor began in 1908. As the result of an interview that I had with the late Andrew Carnegie, I frankly told Mr. Carnegie that I wished to enter law school and that I had conceived the idea of paying my way through school by interviewing successful men and women, finding out how they came by their success, and writing stories of my discoveries for magazines. At the end of our first visit, Mr. Carnegie asked whether or not I possessed enough courage to carry out a suggestion he wished to offer me. I replied that courage was about all I did have, and that I was prepared to do my best to carry out any suggestion he cared to offer. He said then, "Your idea of writing stories about men and women who are successful is commendable. Your idea of writing stories about men and women who are successful is commendable as far as it goes, and I have no intention of trying to discourage you from carrying out your purpose. But I must tell you that if you wish to be of enduring service, not only to those now living, but to posterity as well, you can do so if you will take the time to organize all of the causes of failure as well as all of the causes of success. There are millions of people in the world who have not the slightest conception of the causes of success and failure. The schools and colleges teach practically everything except the principles of individual achievement. They require young men and women to spend from 4 to 8 years acquiring abstract knowledge, but do not teach them what to do with this knowledge after they get it. The world is in need of a practical, understandable philosophy of achievement, organized from the factual knowledge gained from the experience of men and women in the great university of life. In the entire field of philosophy, I find nothing which even remotely resembles the sort of philosophy which I have in mind. We have few philosophers who are capable of teaching men and women the art of living. It seems to me that here is an opportunity which should Challenge an ambitious young man of your type, but ambition alone is not enough for the task which I have suggested. The one who undertakes it must have courage and tenacity. The job will require at least 20 years of continuous effort, during which the one who undertakes it will have to earn his living from some other source, because this sort of research is never profitable at the outset. And generally, those who have contributed to civilization through work of this nature have had to wait 100 years or so after their funerals to receive recognition for their labor. Note to readers: 20 years of labor with no pay and possibly no recognition. How would you respond to this offer? As he discusses below, Hill accepted Carnegie's challenge and, with a letter of introduction from Carnegie, set about interviewing the giants of that time, including Theodore Roosevelt, Thomas Edison, John D. Rockefeller, Henry Ford, Alexander Graham Bell, King Gillette, founder of the Gillette Safety Razor Company, and many others. His effort ultimately culminated in the publication of several books, including the 8-volume Law of Success and Think and Grow Rich. After more than 25 years of research, Think and Grow Rich is widely recognized as the seminal work in self-development, introducing essentially all the principles that continue to serve as the foundation for the teachings of the personal development gurus of today. As reflected in Hill's own description, the process of developing and publishing Think and Grow Rich was itself a study in the principles he revealed. It may be telling that the manuscript of Outwitting the Devil was written a year after Think and Grow Rich was published, since this work may reveal the frustration and revelation of Hill's other self and how he conquered his frustration and succeeded in using the very principles he described in Think and Grow Rich. Outwitting the Devil will reveal Hill's spiritual awakening and how each of us can learn from his encounter with the devil. Family, is source time. We'll be right back with some more of the book. Let's go.
When you gonna stop losing money? Huh? When you gonna stop missing out on money and stop missing out on information because the people that you deal with don't deal with the people that can help you get the information? Think about that. Your friends, why do you just always deal with friends that they don't deal with nobody? And just because they don't deal with nobody, you don't deal with nobody. But the reality is, your friends always have problems with the winners. Think about it. Think about the friends that you mess with and say to yourself, damn, why he got problems with everybody that's winning? Why she got problems with everybody that's winning in life, but they got these great relationships with losers. They got the great relationships with the gossipers. The people that know all the gossip, they're their best friends. The people that's always miserable, they're their best friends. The people that's always know what's going on when things is going wrong in people's life, they're their best friends. But the winners, they don't mess with them. Oh, I don't mess with them because of this. Oh, yeah, I don't mess with dude. He this to the third. I don't. Think about that. You really need to reevaluate your friends because you're missing out on a lot of money, a lot of information because you're not connected with the people that's really out here moving and shaking due to the fact that your friends don't deal with them. Your friends don't deal with the winners. Think about that. And it's just.
And we are back, family. We are just jumping in the book, chapter 1. Let's go. Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil. Let's go. If you undertake this job, you should interview not only the few who have succeeded, but the many who have failed. You should carefully analyze many thousands of people who have been classed as failures. And I mean by the term failures, men and women who come to the closing chapter of life disappointed because they did not attain the goal which they had set their hearts upon achieving. As inconsistent as it may seem, you will learn more about how to succeed from the failures than you will from the so-called successes. They will teach you what not to do. Along toward the end of your labor, if you carry it through successfully, you will make a discovery which may be a great surprise to you. You will discover that the cause of success is not something separate and apart from the man, that it is a force so intangible in nature that the majority of men never recognized it, a force which might be properly called the other self. Noteworthy is the fact that this other self seldom exerts its influence or makes itself known, excepting at times of unusual emergency. When men are forced, through adversity and temporary defeat, to change their habits and to think their way out of difficulty, my experience has taught me that a man is never quite so near success as when that which he calls failure has overtaken him, for it is on occasions of this sort that he is forced to think. If he thinks accurately and with persistence, he discovers that so-called failure usually is nothing more than a signal to rearm himself with a new plan on purpose. Most real failures are due to limitations which men set up in their own minds. If they had the courage to go one step further, they would discover their error. Most real failures are due to limitations which men set up in their own minds. A negative mindset and self-doubt can be the primary obstacle to success. With the current economic downturn, far too many people who have all their life done everything right are now, for the first time, facing severe economic adversity. The greatest barrier to their recovery is their own fear and self-doubt instilled by their recent experience. Have you allowed the current economic downturn to overtake you? Have self-doubt and self-sabotage held you back from reaching your dreams? Are you your own worst enemy? In Think and Grow Rich, Hill told the story of R.U. Darby, a gold prospector. Frustrated when a rich vein of gold apparently ran out, Darby sold his gold claim for a pittance to the town junkman. The junkman brought in the right expert advisors and found that Darby would have rediscovered the vein had he moved his digging by a mere 3 feet. Had Darby persevered, he would have made his fortune, but he gave up and abandoned his dreams when he was only 3 feet from gold. Rather than being crushed by his error, Darby learned from his experience and went on to build an insurance empire. Will you abandon your quest just before reaching great success when you are only 3 feet from gold? You can read how many of today's icons persevered through difficult situations in the book, 3 Feet from Gold. Begin life anew. Mr. Carnegie's speech reshaped my entire life and planted in my mind a burning purpose, which has driven me ceaselessly, and this despite the fact that I had but a vague idea as to what he meant by the term other self. During my labor of research into the causes of failure and success, I have had the privilege of analyzing more than 25,000 men and women who were rated as failures and over 500 who were classed as successful. Many years ago, I caught my first glimpse of that other self Mr. Carnegie had mentioned. The discovery came, as he said it would, as the result of 2 major turning points of my life, which constituted emergencies that forced me to think my way out of difficulties such as I had never before experienced. I wish it were possible to describe this discovery without the use of the personal pronoun, but this is impossible because it came through personal experience from which it cannot be separated. To give you the complete picture, I shall have to go back to the first of these 2 major turning points and bring you up to the discovery step by step. The research necessary for the accumulation of the data from which the 17 principles of achievement and the 30 major causes of failure were organized required years of labor. I had reached the false conclusion that my task of organizing a complete philosophy of personal achievement had been completed. Far from having been completed, my work had merely begun. I had erected the skeleton of a philosophy by organizing the 17 principles of achievement and the 30 major causes of failure. But that skeleton had to be covered with the flesh of application and experience. Moreover, it had to be given a soul through which it might inspire men and women to meet obstacles without going down under them. The soul, which had yet to be added, as I discovered later, became available only after my other self, made its appearance through two major turning points of my life. Resolving to turn my attention and whatever talent I might possess into monetary returns through business and professional channels, I decided to go into the profession of advertising. And I became the advertising manager of the LaSalle Extension University of Chicago. Everything went along beautifully for 1 year, at the end of which I was seized by a violent dislike for my job and resigned. I then entered the chain store business with the former president of the LaSalle Extension University and became the president of the Betsy Ross Candy Company. Unfortunate, or what seemed to me at the time to be unfortunate, disagreements with business associates disengaged me from that undertaking. The lure of advertising still was in my blood, and I tried again to give expression to it by organizing a school of advertising and salesmanship as a part of Bryant and Stratton Business College. The enterprise was sailing smoothly and we were making money rapidly when the United States entered World War I. In response to an inner urge which no words can describe, I walked away from the school and entered the service of the United States government under President Woodrow Wilson's personal direction, leaving a perfectly sound business to disintegrate. On Armistice Day, on Armistice Day 1918, I began the publication of the Golden Rule magazine. Despite the fact that I did not have a penny of capital, the magazine grew rapidly and soon gained a nationwide circulation of nearly 500,000, and in its first year, business with a profit of $3,156. Family, right there we're going to stop, and tonight we're going to get right into it. So let's go. Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil. I'm excited for this one. Stay tuned.